Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Joe Biden's DOJ is completely out of control, friends. What we are seeing is not normal. This isn't just a normal, neutral pursuit of justice. This is the Democrat witch hunt on crack. This is, as I've been stating, the weaponization of federal agencies to attack Joe Biden and the DNC's political adversaries. How else could you justify this? FBI agents tracking down Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, and seizing his cell phone. The My Pillow guy. If this doesn't convince you that this whole thing is one massive sham, then I don't know what will. The FBI, the DOJ, is on a complete rampage, targeting anything and anyone related to Donald Trump, and they're using the most shady methods possible in order to do so. It's getting to the point where this whole thing has become comical, except it's really not funny, considering the escalation of Gestapo-style tactics from the Brandon regime and the totally compromised DOJ and FBI. Let me give you guys an update on everything that's going on, and then of course let's have a conversation. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so the Brandon regime's war on MAGA continues. In fact, it escalates. MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell claims FBI surrounded his car and seized his cell phone. Here's what he had to say.
Today the FBI, you're going to hear this, and you're probably already hearing it in the news, the FBI came after me and took my phone. They surrounded me at a Hardee's and took my phone that I run all my business, everything with. They could have just, what they've done is weaponize the FBI. It's disgusting. I don't have a computer. Everything I do have that phone, everything was on there, and they told me not to tell anybody. Here's an order, don't tell anybody. Okay, I won't. Well, I am.
And while many people were claiming that the whole thing was a hoax and it was just a publicity stunt, many reputable outlets have now confirmed that the FBI did in fact have a search warrant and did in fact seize his property. The New York Times reported that the search warrant that Lindell was served appeared to be in connection to Colorado County Clerk Tina Peters, who is under indictment on state charges related to allegations about a scheme to download data from election equipment after the 2020 presidential election. And so clearly, absolutely no one is off limits, not even the pillow guy. This comes after a week that they perp-walked Steve Bannon, and of course Steve Bannon made us aware that the FBI also raided the homes of 35 Trump allies. This is a full-scale assault, as I stated, on anyone related to Donald Trump, even the pillow guy. And again, in this situation, the allegation seems completely ridiculous and forced. We actually already have the Mike Lindell search warrant. Attachment B, items to be seized. The physical cellular telephone assigned call number, redacted information, Lindell cell phone, and all records and information on the Lindell cell phone that constitute fruits, evidence, or instrumentalities of violations of 18 U.S. Code 1028, identity theft, and 18 U.S. Code 1030, intentional damage to a protected computer, and or U.S. Code 371, conspiracy to commit identity theft and or cause intentional damage to a protected computer. Those violations involving Tina Peters, Conan James Hayes, Belinda Nisley, Sandra Brown, Sharona Bishop, Mike Lindell, and or Douglas Frank, among other co-conspirators, known and unknown to the government, the subject since November 1st, 2020. Every single search warrant that we've covered, the targeting of all of these Trump allies, and of course Donald Trump included, it all just seems like one massive fishing expedition. They are trying to find anything, something. Going after Mike Lindell on the premise of identity theft and damage to a protected computer, Donald Trump being targeted over what seems to be a bogus allegation or accusation of destruction of classified documents. The accusations and the charges are all over the place. It seems to me the DOJ is trying to find any excuse, any witness testimony, any reason to launch an investigation and then lead to a search warrant to get after and go after Donald Trump's orbit. There is nothing consistent. There's no grand conspiracy with all of these charges, connecting all of the dots and connecting all of these people. It's just random subpoenas and random search warrants, seizing people's phones, with I guess the hope being just a Hail Mary, whoa, we found this massive bombshell in a text message, an email, or a file that gives them what they're looking for. This is an unprecedented moment in American history, a moment where the justice system and federal agencies have been politicized and weaponized to attack the current administration's political opposition. And of course, the timing can't be a coincidence. influence, I watched Tim Pool's video on the Mike Lindell subject and he made a great point. How not only is it all falling right before the midterm elections, but how it's all being massively publicized and how it seems to coincide with Democrat messaging so well. Steve Bannon recently being arrested, and the FBI doing a public perp walk with him, parading him in front of the media, getting all kinds of shots from every single angle. And that's the point that Tim Pool made. As Joe Biden warns of the extremist Donald Trump MAGA threat, you're going to see all kinds of campaign ads showing Steve Bannon and probably Mike Lindell and other individuals being arrested, and fear-mongering campaigns being pushed about the scary criminal element within Donald Trump's orbit. It can't possibly be a coincidence. It seems all connected, it seems all choreographed. MAGA Republicans in this criminal threat, despite the fact that not a single individual in any of these cases, in any of these situations, has actually been found guilty. I mean, what happened to the idea of innocent before proven guilty? And just speaking of being proven guilty in general, it's still completely unclear what the actual crimes here are. There's claims that Donald Trump destroyed documents, but we've seen no evidence to corroborate that. We've seen one picture from the FBI showing classified document folders. Not even necessarily documents, but just a bunch of folders laid out. And now there's this accusation involving Mike Lindell of a conspiracy, so I guess commit some sort of cybercrime with the Dominion voter machine, and the whole thing just seems ridiculous. What is the crime? And where is the proof? It seems like the search warrant is coming first and the investigation is following. Generally, I feel like it should be the other way around. You find actual evidence of a crime, and then you apply for a search warrant and seize the evidence. In this case, it's a search warrant to find something to investigate, to then try to make it stick. This whole thing is getting completely out of control. They're casting a massive net, a massive web, in an effort to trap Donald Trump and Trump allies. Tucker Carlson did a little segment on it just the other day, and he raises some very important points and concerns.
It shocks the conscience of everyone who sees it. But the number of people who see it is very small because it is not covered by any media. And it's not just happening to Amy Kremer. This show has obtained a subpoena from Merrick Garland's DOJ issued in the past week. And what it demands is both unlawful and without precedent in American history. The subpoena claims to be investigating, quote, any claim that the vice president and or president of the Senate had the authority to reject or choose not to count presidential electors. Now, keep in mind that any claim you make as an American citizen about electors, any claim you make about American politics, period, is protected explicitly under the First Amendment. That's our core freedom. It's why we live here. It's why we're proud to be Americans. It's why so many American servicemen died protecting our country. Those are the freedoms that they fought to preserve. That's why nobody prosecuted leading Democrats in 2016 when they sought to reject electors for Donald Trump. Right. It's why none of those people, including Kamala Harris, is now in jail. But right now, according to the subpoena that we have obtained, Merrick Garland's DOJ is demanding all communication from the following people on this topic. And let's be clear before we read their names that it is not clear what the investigation is actually about. And that's the most terrifying part. What is this? On what grounds are you demanding my private communications with people? They never say.
There seems to be severe abuses of power here, and Tucker seems to be asking the exact same questions. What exactly is the crime here? A president declassifying documents or being in possession of his own documents, whether classified or not, first of all, to me doesn't seem criminal, and second of all, certainly in my mind doesn't justify raiding the home of a former president. And in relation to Mike Lindell and others, simply questioning or challenging the results of an election doesn't seem criminal. It seems like something that is completely protected by your First Amendment right. I am at a complete loss here. I mean, we are operating completely in the dark, and that seems totally purposeful. I mean, for Pete's sakes, the FBI told Mike Lindell not to tell anybody about the seizing of his cell phone. We have what seems to be a weaponized and politicized DOJ and FBI, operating with zero accountability and zero transparency, targeting the current regime's political opponents. And they better come up with something legitimate and something legitimate fast, because it's currently looking corrupt as all hell. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.